$3,000 basically to pay for the court clerk portion of the job. And I just chose 3,000 because that's what's been used in the past. And having sit in on half of one court and knowing what, I don't know if that's an accurate percentage, but I just, part-time is Mary, and we'll call that Dana for commonality's sake. Renee is there, Dana there. Benefits became a percentage. So, and the percentages are right over here. 18% for health, life, and dental. And what I did was I took the actuals from 15 and started making some averages and doing that. So that's FICA, taxes, retirement. Those all became percentages, so we can move. CIRSA is still sitting at 19.8. Renee's working. Tell me what you're.
Get a hold of her
Yeah,
today.
I realize. Yeah.
Basically, I did a brief overview of what had been sent in the application, and just know it's a very brief overview, but there seemed to be some things that were listed that we no longer have anymore, that were still listed in there, and there were people that we don't have anymore on the Marshall side that we can add later, you know, if more come in, but we shouldn't be paying for them right now. That's not necessary. So I don't know what the figures are yet. I'm in conversation with them, but I'm hoping to have answers Thursday. I would have them tomorrow, but we have court.
So I left the 19.8 in. I put it on the board. If we want to break it out, once we get a better idea, we can actually break it out into where it should actually go.
And then two significant changes from 15 that we've seen are both CIRSA and workman's comp. So just something until we learn otherwise that they'll change, we need to budget for those accordingly.
Mike, can I ask you guys to speak into the microphone?
Will you flip it over to the next? You're good. Just flip it over on the other side. Renee. There we go.
There we go.
So we've got CIRSA and unemployment that are, until we know better, we just stick with what we've got. Hopefully we'll be able to get that cut down some. Communications, electric, gas, trash. The communication side went down a little bit for the projections for 16 when I went in and started actually pulling some receipts this afternoon. The main difference there with the Marshall, and you can see these have definitions next to them. So next to communications include cell phone, pagers, internet, and landline, and radios. Radios are a big part of the Marshall's department with their license fees that they have to pay. And then we get into the, so for Tabor, the $748, which should put us this year, should be the what we need to pay to get us back up to our Tabor cap. And contingency, I've got $30,000 in there right now. Discretionary, we've got $4,500, which is for the reservist in the pool. Mary had figured 10-1 for that. Road material, it was at 17.5. I do have that bumped up to 27.5. Let's see, ammunition, pool supplies. So I've got 2,500. So Michael, what would, in the pool, for your chlorine, for all the stuff, what should that be?
Anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000.
Okay, so you have Alright. And for the parks, fertilizer and seed, these were just guesses.
Yeah, anywhere from 250 to 500 for that.
I know we've got,
What kind of signs?
those are for the ordinance or the signs about
Visible
feeding,
signs.
yeah, feeding, what can be fed and what can't.
Oh, the new signs
Yes.
that we're gonna get?
Yeah, that was,
Okay.
they showed us this budget for 2006. So, office supplies, oh, actually, take that back. Earlier, I talked about taking out the $1,000 for the laptop, and I did not realize that was already taken out. So, I'll put this back in. So for office, it's your paper, your ink, and some of that stuff. The marshals, maintenance, pool, judicial.
So Michael, what's the 2,000 for then?
That's for your, what it takes to, whether your paper, your ink, your office equipment,
Okay,
not to include, not equipment, but office supplies.
okay,
It's a lot of pencils.
that's, seriously,
Well, what I've realized is how much paper gets
well,
used in this
right,
place. A lot.
Cutting down on the packets is really
Gonna
gonna help a lot.
Yeah.
Not repeating things each meeting.
right.
But again, until we can demonstrate that there is a savings, we should budget for what it took last time. Hopefully,
So budget for what we did last time, rather than helping, is what you said? Okay.
So we've got,
demonstrate.
Are there any other copies of these budget breakdowns?
I've got a couple. They're already obsolete. Everything, as we change stuff, it becomes obsolete. Oh, and I got one more. I got one more set. Pass back. All right. $250. I have not looked at the vending machine in the last week being in town, but I do have, I do want to look at it, but it's $250 up front if we continue as we're doing. And if we end up selling $1,000 throughout the year, well, that's just
Right.
rebuying. So,
And you took out the tools, or did you, is that intentional?
I did take out the tools, and that was, which tools?
For me,
Yeah, I realize that. What tools do you need?
mainly it's the metal cutoff saw. That's something I requested.
All right,
That's a minimum of 250 for that.
all right, I'll put it back in.
Right. It
We'll
would be an ideal tool.
yeah, we'll see where it is. Drainage material, that was from last time. I left it in there because I didn't know if there was gonna be any more, watershed,
Oh,
the drainage.
drain pan.
Drain pans. $1,000 total in uniforms or clothing, stamps, $1,000 for admin, $1,000 for judicial. One that I'm not sure of is the legal publications and advertising. I don't know how much that stuff costs. And so Matt got back with Renee today about the publishing the ordinance on the procurement policy. And that can't be done by title only. So that whole thing's got to go in. So I
That's a
don't,
big thing.
so we don't know how much that'll cost, but that'll be a
Check into.
yeah.
Check into it. Okay.
So, yeah, Matt just got with her about an hour ago, so we'll figure that out. But a few of those type of publications, that $500 could easily blossom, but I have no idea. Most times when I've looked at receipts from the publishing stuff, it's been $8, it's been $27, and $22. So I don't know if 28 is a full type of ordinance. I really doubt it, but we'll know more. Payroll fees, $580, $340 of $340. You can see the formula there. $340 a year for the payroll subscription, and $2 per employee. I just put 10 employees for right now. I could go up or down depending on what we have, but that'd be $580 is what I've got budgeted in there for that. Election, I've got $7,200 in there. So we've got this is if El Paso County, and so this isn't me saying that we should use El Paso County, but if El Paso County does it, we can do it for $7,200, and we don't have any experience here, and we are stretching Renee mighty heavily right now. So this isn't something that we can. The election happens on a certain time, so we need to decide this pretty quickly. If we want to do it in-house, or if we want to outsource it. I did put it in here because it is what I thought, but it is something that we need to decide as a board here pretty soon. Computer maintenance, it's $100 a year for Sanders.
$100 a year, $100 a month.
$100 a month, excuse me, so $1,200. One I don't have in here is boiler health inspections. You've got some that are yearly, some are
We're gonna be doing
every
both
year.
this year.
So we're gonna do both of them this year. So this is for the pool, and that's gonna be how much total?
Like about 500 total, 250 for each.
Legal is got 18,000 in admin, 12,000 in judicial.
What is that? What does legal mean?
That's my
Oh, okay.
An auditor, 7,500. What we got our quote for, we ended up paying 22.5. Shouldn't expect it to be the 22 again. I don't know whether it would be 7,500. I split the difference somewhere in there. It shows 15,000. Judge, 4,800. Building. This is a tough one. So we've got $1,000 in there for the pool, and I don't know what other things that we need. Yeah. So, what condition is the DPW barn? What condition? Well, this is actually the warranty just expired on this, I believe.
From this
So
building.
So, are there any things that you know of that are gonna?
Not right now, no.
The
First.
plumbing's, the electrical for any of them, the roof for anything.
Electrical probably for the DPW. I'm having some issues with the lights, so that could be something that could be remedied easily. But this is the fluorescent lights.
All right. I've got $1,000 in there for the pool, and that was based on years past. What do you see needing to be done for the pool?
Nothing as of yet, except for just the startup stuff that we normally would use, which is under the operating expenses.
Right.
We had somebody professionally shut down the winterize it, that was under contract, so it should be covered there. So else is DPW, nothing really major there, that's still okay, except the lights.
Like when you're talking about the fence. at the pool.
Fence, would that be building, or would that be something different?
Just,
We have the materials to paint the fence,
Okay.
so that was given to us. So we have the stain for that.
Okay.
It was given to us, we're in good shape as far as that.
So for dollars, how much do you see in the electrical for the DPW?
At least 500.
For
Repairs,
for the lights?
yeah.
Okay. And the pool, you said that you don't have
I
much.
don't foresee anything there.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
You have to start up in the plumbing some months.
That's in the operating. No rental, we've got no service use fees, any of that. So just as a breakdown, we've got things broken down between building, small equipment, large equipment, and vehicles. So the small equipment are things like the riding lawnmowers, the weed eaters, the generators, things like that.
small stuff.
The vehicles are obviously the vehicles, the plows, the truck, and the heavy equipment being the grader, the roller. So that's what
Does small equipment also include office equipment?
it does. To include office equipment and shop equipment. So there's $3,500 in the small equipment repair. And I basically just carried that over from an earlier budget thing. What do you see that going towards?
Just normal wear and tear on the Steiner tractor, the weed eaters, normal upkeep that we would do.
Okay.
The chipper, it's still small equipment, so just the minor wear and tear that we have. Maybe a little high, but it may be okay.
And Renee, I've got the $500 in there for Toshiba rental and overage fee for what we've got. And I know the bills are typically in that $28, $35 range, so it falls in there. And I asked the question earlier, we never finished the conversation. What do you think about that printer and that? Is it better to keep what we've got currently, or is it better to own our own printer?
Until I get a better handle on how all this works, I'd rather keep what we have.
Okay. All right. Large equipment to include heavy equipment but not vehicles. The $9,400, the last grader payment, and we've got $5,000 in repairs, and that is for.
The only issue I see is we wouldn't be replacing the tires on the grader.
I thought the tires on the grader were $5,000. Thought that's what that was.
Ah, okay. Well, but then that doesn't leave anything for anything else that may or may not happen.
Okay, fair point. So what do you see as a need?
Just the left side.
Just the left side.
Always the unexpected, like that, like the backhoe that ran into some issues. I'm a little uncomfortable with just 5. 8,000 would be better.
Okay. Thank you.
You might consider the fact that that maintenance building is 33 or 32 or 33 years old. I don't recall it ever having been rebuilt.
Yeah, that was one I did.
So that may be something that crops up.
All right. And I don't have it on here, is there's a second sheet that goes along with it for building and all the replacement, and roofs are on each one of the buildings, roof is on there. So probably as we take a look at how much it costs to replace it, then go around and inspect them. All right, how much longer, how much life is,
Well, the roof on the Marshalls, the old Marshalls building is probably bulletproof. It's probably not gonna, the paint might come off it, but that's all, as long as we have galvanized metal roof. The roof on the maintenance building is probably, it should be your biggest concern because that's the oldest,
okay.
that's the oldest building that doesn't have a relatively new roof on it.
So as we start taking the depreciation asset spreadsheet down the line, we'll take that into consideration.
Can I get you to speak up a little bit?
So $8,000, all right, so I put $8,000 in there. Nothing under rental, nothing under service. Vehicles, fuel, you've got 8,000, and Chief's got 6,500. You didn't have anything in repair.
I don't know why that was taken out, it shouldn't. Just because there's gonna be wear and tear on the, even though we have a new truck, it doesn't mean the other ones aren't gonna break down, because we have the warranties on the new truck. But, we have clutches, we have other stuff, there is, already an issue on the Nissan, it won't shift past drive. I can get in reverse and drive, and that's it. So there's something funky there, so that's gonna have to be addressed. So, a couple thousand there would be nice, because if the clutch goes out, that's on the 2006. There's always been, some issues, upkeep. So like 2,000 in there or 3,000.
So where does oil changes and that type of stuff come into play? Is that under operating or is that under repair?
Should just be under parts. Good. But there wasn't a line item for that.
I don't have a line item for parts. It's either going to work under the heavy equipment. It's basically whatever it takes to run.
That's, put it under repair.
Got nothing under lease. So training, meals, travel, as per the previous request from the last one, I broke down what, defined what each of those were. So we've got for the admin, $500 for training. A lot of CML stuff is not that expensive. It's $40 for this, $100 for that. But some of it isn't local. The last one was in Breckenridge. So I put some meal and travel money. There's also, and I don't know if meals is enough, we also have elections coming up, and typically in the past, there have been some expenses with bringing in pizzas for the election judges, or there were several times, whatever, Lucky Duck or whatever. So don't know if that's is enough, but
What were you gonna put under the, like cutting edges change? I had a line item that I had put in there in one of the budgets for where items. Where items in there.
let's go.
Had it for a line item. I prefer to keep that separate because it's where. Easier to track.
So consumables,
Yeah.
okay.
That was gonna be about 2,000, that was based upon what I used last year.
How often are those replaced?
It just varies, and I just based the number off of what I used last year. What I've tried to do this year is purchase a higher quality chain and a higher quality cutting edge. And to see if that would improve the longevity of the chains and like the cutting edges, because you're gonna have cutting edges on the plow trucks and on the grader and on the backhoe and on the skid steer, and then chains on the grader and the two pickups. So you're making a line for consumables?
Yeah. Got it. How much is a cutting edge?
Depends on which one you order. You got
The one that you order?
well, the plow trucks, like, they're anywhere from 250 to 350. And that's for what, because some are, longer and bigger. The ones that we're trying out have a carbide cutting edge on the front of it that's coated with it to help, wear. And then the other ones are, 200 to 300, for the 268 for the skid steer. Backhoes are around 250. Graders about the same. Those don't we use as frequently, but the plow trucks definitely a lot more frequently. Skid steer more frequently.
Okay.
Chains more frequently.
The change of that consumable?
Yes, that's a wear.
And then under projects, the only project that I had listed was asphalt repairs, and you had 500 in there for that. And you said don't put anything in there for road straightening. So we're at $9,700.
We went up.
Where did the oil changes go?
Oil changes are under road repairs.
So that covers all, the marshal's department as well? His vehicles?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Well, yes, under the vehicles, the repairs, 3,500.
Okay, good.
That would be.
You might want to make that repair and maintenance.
Or
Sounds good.
upkeep.
Upkeep. Repair and maintenance are two sides of the same coin.
So they have a line item for repair and maintenance for the vehicles in the DPW.
Yes. Yeah. It's a red.
They added $2,000.
So the total figure is 2,000.
For the one department, yeah. And then 3,500 for marshal. For vehicle repair and maintenance.
So I am up for ideas.
There's considerably higher number of vehicles in the maintenance department than the marshal's department. I think they're gonna require a little more. Just in oil changes and lube jobs.
Well, the marshals, I don't disagree with you, but the marshals is older. So his repairs are often repairs as well. More so,
I don't think you're at $2,000, I don't think you're even close.
So Michael,
You know, there's gotta be 8 or 9 vehicles in that maintenance department. 3 of which are pickup trucks.
Got our 2 plows.
No, we're talking vehicles, we're not talking heavy equipment. You got the Nissan, you got the 2006, the 2015. That's our vehicles.
Those are the 3.
That's what I'm covering.
So there's heavy equipment, or there's a large
Large
equipment.
equipment, 3,000, that's separate large equipment.
Okay.
And how much
In
we-
addition to the 5 drivers. 8 total.
So we've got 8,000 in large equipment repair
And 2,000 in vehicle.
in 2,000 vehicles.
So we got 10 grand total between those two. My other thought would be, I know that there was requests for more in road materials that we had said. I've recently come up with a road inspection report, and this is gonna show us how to prioritize our roads. And I think that I think some of that is gonna have to come out, because we just can't do that much, up front. But I think what it'll show us, what roads that we can prioritize and when we need to do them. So we need to know how much money we need to put in towards that. I know that we want to put 10,000 more in there, but maybe that's just not feasible right now to do that. Maybe, cut that in half and try to, look seriously on our road report and see what needs to be done and really see, what our priorities are and how to address those. And see how much money it's going to take to fix each road. And I think, that would give us a better idea than just throwing $10,000 in there, because we don't know. I think that's just throwing money in there because we don't really know. Once I get the report done, it's going to show the citizens, us, how to prioritize and how to best handle each road appropriately, because we don't know. We can't just throw 10 grand because we don't know. That'd be nice to throw dirt on top and that's going to fix it, but getting the roads built properly and then putting the right material on and chemical in, I think that would help out, substantially to make our decision better than what we're doing right now. So, that, it's a cut, I don't want to cut it, it'd be nice to have the money there, but.
All right. So I like the idea of the, so you talked about building it up, chemicalizing it and all that stuff. When you get done building a road, do you put water on it? Do you
Normally,
wet it down?
you would water the road, then you go back in, the process would be to water the road, go back in and grade it, pull the materials back in together, go back in and recompact it, and water it again, to compact it, to get all those things, the fines and everything brought back together. We haven't done that, that's something that we haven't done, and so that'll be a process that we need to do.
So if it is something that, especially if you're going to choose a road to Foster, if you look at Foster and it's the top of your priority list, you say, this is the one we're gonna do, and we're not looking at throwing dirt on it, we're looking at building it back to where it should
Building
be,
the levels back to where it should
then you will need water. Where does water come into here as far as, how do we put down water?
be. I use it from the Colorado Springs
Oh, no, not the water itself, how do we apply, how do we applicate it?
with the water truck.
We have a water truck.
Well, I can use the one from Colorado Springs. I have access to that
Okay.
whenever I need it.
Okay. That, when you were talking, that it triggered another potential need.
Yeah, I have that access.
Okay.
Does the marshal need $2,000 of office supply?
That, yeah, I don't know. That's, he says he does. So I don't know what. That's all.
In the past, he's had to print forms and triplicate and things that are pretty darn expensive.
If it's triplicate like that, yeah.
And I don't know where he stands on those supplies. He may have done enough run for all of 2016, I don't know. But maybe he needs another whole supply of stuff. I don't know. It's worth asking whether he It just means more printing.
Okay.
And it was, I saw it printed a number of years ago. So, what are you printing? When I
So
started printing
he
money,
prints it himself or does he send it out?
it sends it out, yeah, because it's a forms and triplicate and
That's what I
all
thought.
those kinds of things.
Do you have a line item for how much the board spent on training this year?
That would be in the other, the assist, one.
We don't have the departments broken down. Can you,
You get my reports, because that's what I was able to pull from assist.
do you remember what they are?
As far as the, I can get you that. 4320 is the last four, if that's what you're asking.
No, I'm looking for the middle.
What the board number is?
Yeah.
The board number is 1,800.
See what we're looking at? So this printout here does not break it out by department. So you need to look at the the middle of the three sets of numbers. So all the zeros are the revenues, and then the expenditures, you see that they start at 1450, I think is admin. Does that sound right?
Yes.
And then 1800 you'll see, then is board. And then you go to 3421, which is other police.
4431. Most of them.
And 4430 public works.
5451 is pool.
Almost like you spent some time with us.
5452 is parks. And 7412 is judicial.
So it says there's 6,000 in there for special projects, memberships and dues for the board. We only spent $970.
Well, in reality, that money, I believe, got pulled for other things.
Audit,
The
okay.
audit and
But that, was it, that answer your question?
No.
No?
No.
Because we didn't have training listed.
What's the, explain what 3421 is to me.
Is police.
That's the police fund.
and anything with 3421.
And which one did you say was the board?
Really,
Yeah, we're at 1800. 1800.
So is there training of the recently suspended?
And no, there's no training outlay for the board.
It doesn't seem like we went to or did that much training.
We didn't do any.
And you have $5,000 sitting in there for next year. And it seems like something that you could probably capture some of that.
We can do that. So is there, so if that was zero, that means we're not gonna train. So if we wanted to do some training, what do we as a board want to do training on? And I guess that's the first question before we decide.
I think attending conferences and paying those kinds of related expenses is helpful, going up to CML or the annual conference is good.
I can see needing $1,000 here to cover representatives from us going somewhere, not all of us, obviously, but the mayor pro tem, things like that.
And you.
But I was just thinking, since you're looking at
Yep.
too much deficit, that may be someplace you can capture some.
Absolutely. Anything else other than CML? $1,000 for CML that I this is an area that I don't know what's out there to, all right.
Do the,
It's,
okay,
I'm sorry, it's easier to, if you look forward enough,
Mhm.
to get a grant for somebody to go somewhere than it is for other things.
Yeah.
So,
will you need any training budget for like pool chemical operators if you hire a new employee?
The way that works is, as long as they can call me and I instruct them on how to do it, you don't have to have that. As long as there's one person there that's certified, which I am, until 2017. You're going.
Okay, thank you. Okay. We'll see you
I'll see you
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow at 6.
6. Finish up the discussion.
I'll email this out when we get done and you can spend your.
Yeah.
I'll do it tomorrow.
For tomorrow, that'd be great.
So, all right, so instead of looking for $5,700, what are we missing in here that is going to take us the other way? What do you not have in your budget that you need? Same, Renee, what do you, I mean, you're looking at this from a very quick perspective, but is there anything that you're seeing? Tim and I talked this morning, and he said this would do it. In fact, he pulled the other $4,000 out of salary. He said that he feels that he's good and can make things happen.
Retirement?
Retirements are all 0. Michael and Tim have both opted out.
Okay, never mind. I was one line off. I thought I found something for us. I was trying.
I suggested this at a previous workshop, but you have a full-time salary with benefits deputy marshal. It's my understanding that's a vacant position right now. If you're looking for savings, now might be the time to do that.
Yes,
Change that.
so I did talk to Tim about that today, and about if you take 2 full-timers, take a 40-hour week position and split that and give them 2 20-hour week positions, similar to what you and I, Michael and I had a similar conversation, and was showcasing what the benefits mean in that range. For the marshal, he was just saying it's almost impossible to hire somebody at 20 hours. There is a, for certification, post-certification, I don't know all the details, I'll probably get that wrong. It probably isn't post-certification, but whatever. If you have a full-time, say you were part of Colorado Springs and you wanted to be a reservist up here, it's 10 hours a month. If you don't, it's got to be 20 hours a month. Well, you're already, so you've got a full-time job elsewhere and that wasn't a police driven, then you've got to do 20 hours a month anyway. So it's almost impossible, is what he was telling me today, is to get somebody of quality. And that is, you've got to get everything aligned just right and in order to do it. So let me, so we've got
I'd
5,700.
just like to comment on the salaries on the projected budget online. Salaries are now 59.3, kind of about percent of the total budget when it was, I think, a different figure than that. And in 2014, salaries and everything, benefits, FICA, workers' and comp, was 40%. Seems to me that's a drastic increase when we don't have really any increase in services. We have less in public works. Whatever.
I appreciate that. I don't have an answer for you. good facts. Let's take this in a slightly different direction. So we have vacancy in DPW. Tim has a vacancy in his full-time position. We have had everybody, Matt, Sursa, Don's group, say the town manager is the way to go. Is now the time to do that? And how does that look? And what changes might need to be made in order to do that? So, not to skirt your question, but I don't have an answer, but here I am looking to throw different things in there. So,
I think you're right on target, that if we were to consider a town manager model, we would have to mess with the staffing. Because I think that we'd have to look at what the roles and responsibilities are, and presumably the town manager would adopt some of the responsibilities that the department heads might have, or vice versa. Confuse is the wrong word, but change things up.
so Michael, without getting into any specifics, since I know you just got out of your interviews, our conversation today about changing up in hours, are you more or less inclined with that? Earlier, you didn't like the idea. After going with the interviews and seeing the pool that you're
Less inclined.
Less inclined for what?
going from a full-time position to 220 hours, or a part-time position, basically it's a Dana's position, and going to a couple of 20-hour positions, or what I asked Michael is, if we had a town manager and that could relieve him of the admin work that he does, and in previous conversation, we're talking 16 to 20 hours a week is admin stuff. So if some of that were to be able to be pulled away and there was more field time for him, how many hours do we need in the field? Cumulative, and it's something that Michael's gonna do some thinking on. How much time do we need plowing? So not all hours are created equal. When the snow's falling, that's when the time has gotta be done. There's several times during the year that you've got to have more, and that might be where seasonal comes in, might be some other areas. But how many people do we need to make this town run efficiently if he's not doing admin stuff as much? You would still have some, I'm sure. So that was with it.
I find it a little hard to believe that it takes 20 hours a week to administrate the other 20 hours a week. I find that just a little far-fetched.
Well, it's based on average, because I take home work. I don't always do everything there. It's the time that, doing reports, doing telephone calls, things that I have to make, addressing situations, admin work. That's just an average number. Maybe it's less, maybe it's more.
Well, whether there was a town manager or not, there would still be admin working
Sure.
in every department.
There would be,
Sure.
right.
I think
So,
the town manager discussion is important. I don't think we have the luxury of figuring that out ahead of passing the budget tomorrow night.
I don't disagree, which is the reason I don't have a secondary budget built for this. And we need to figure out if that's an area that we want to move forward with. This doesn't get scrapped. This is still what we start the year with, but we don't have to wait for a yearly cycle, a fiscal year cycle to come around to make those changes. We do have a couple of opportunities right now that you don't want to hire in and then make the changes. So
Is Renee working, I'm checking on the workman's comp fee.
no, it was just Sursa. I don't want to get too confused.
Because admit is $50 more than maintenance.
Let's go.
something wrong with that workman's comp.
Get hurt if
Okay.
Yeah, the paper cut.
Yeah, I don't.
Workman's comp's kind of quicker.
Yeah, let me make sure.
Well, those were percentages driven off of the salary. So that's why it got differentiated, right?
Just seems high for the administration, doesn't it, or is it just
I'm just looking to see. if
amount of the
I think
insurance fee?
what he did was he put in the total, and then it got divided by the,
That's what it is. So there are percentages over here. So if I've got this wrong, if workman's comp would be less. I was trying to make it where the averages, but I guess workman's comp is probably one that isn't,
equal.
can't be across the board.
But we don't need to change that because the
Okay.
reality is the workman's comp is still that total number.
Total amount, no matter what, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
even if the departmental separation needs to be corrected, but
I see what you're saying.
it
Michael's should be like 78, and then,
probably.
Chris, what are you thinking?
We're running out of time. Where are we at? 18?
We're at 5710 over, but are you seeing anything that we're missing, that we're off on?
Not that we're off on.
I've got contingency set at $30,000. I've got the road base set at 27.5. Can we can get a balanced budget at the stroke of a pen. I'm just looking to make sure, what are we missing? I hate to pass a balanced budget and realize we've got holes that we haven't addressed. Guys, y'all see anything that we're missing? Mac? Don't be shy.
Election, those were two big ones.
Elections on there, and it's actually a higher.
Right, and the audit is higher, because we, hopefully.
are we gonna put something there for the future or something that breaks 10 years down the road from us to buy out?
Yeah, to buy out, for the depreciation, or so
We need
buying
a
our,
new,
buying our next snowplow?
right,
Okay, yes, and it's not in this one.
okay.
I've got it working, and I'm okay. Got that.
Have we accounted for the sale of the machinery that he's
No,
hopefully
that's not,
going to sell? Because that would give us, if we even sold it for 10,000.
so it's two separate things, that is revenue, but that, in reality, is already taken care of, because when we bought the snowplow, we used the savings, and so we were gonna replenish that.
What happens to all the money that's carried over in these line items?
So I don't have it in here yet, Cameron's been helping me with something, and I gotta figure out where it goes, but to have a carryover.
Could some of that come and help? Like, if we went 2,700 in road maintenance, or 27,000, if there's some left over, could we carry that over to help?
Only if the total expenses are less than total revenue. Usually that lack of expenditure in one area covers overages in another area.
So if we look at some of these areas that, so $6,000 in board of trustees that didn't get spent, and it looks like we have overage. It's not, it's just because we haven't,
Right. We use it somewhere else.
we used it somewhere else.
License and certificates for the marshal and maintenance, do we have something on here? Would it be all of them? Okay, never mind, training.
Oh, you're talking about the certifications and all that?
Yeah, that's, okay.
Those are his numbers for what is needed.
But like admit, like if we wanted, for their bonding and maybe a notary,
He doesn't have one in there.
The bonding, Michael, do we have the bonding
I do.
for the town clerk?
All right, so there should go, that should go in contract labor services fees.
Should be insurance.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Up there.
If you're on bonding, I may comment that the code also says the marshal needs a $10,000 bond. I think it's 173 or right around there.
I don't want much of a being to fill those. Maybe you can see, since you've got all those previous year's budgets of what that has cost in the past.
I don't know if we've ever budgeted.
So,
That wasn't a budget.
I can tell you this is very unpopular, but you have $30,000 for a second policeman. It's a luxury we certainly cannot afford.
Have
So-
you considered using county services right now when the
For you to do?
positions, the sergeant position is vacant? Have you considered using county services and seeing how that works with one full-time position?
So I've had conversations with him about a lot of different things, but know that as I've been working on this budget, it has not been to steer us into changes, away into doing things. Tim and I have had some conversations about changes in the marshals and how different things, throwing everything on there. And Tim will be here tomorrow night. It's something, probably he's better to speak to it than I am. But marshals is something that you either do all the way or don't do. His words, not mine. I'm not.
Well, you know what? There haven't been, I don't think, two permanent full-time positions since the 70s. So I'm not quite sure where your comment's coming from.
Okay. So I won't take it any further since maybe I don't know everything I'm talking about. So, but I have been talking with Tim about a lot of different things. But once again, as I build this, it's not to steer us one way or another. With the exception of maybe the election, $7,200 there. That was the only one that I did to steer. Been having lots of conversations about how would this affect? Because I don't live in these every day, so I do want to make sure that I understand what it means. Do it.
You just give these numbers every other day.
I'm not in this job every day. I didn't have any money to share those.
What?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's fine.
I hate to, this is gonna be harsh, because it is.
Yeah.
If the board's not steering, who's driving the town?
So the thing is, I don't want to do this, if I go sit in my office and work on a budget, I don't want to be a steering committee of one. This is a board decision. It's the reason we have public hearings, and it's the reason I want to hear these things, but it's not my thing to chop where it's not a board decision.
And tomorrow night, Chief Bradley will be here to talk through this with us anyway, so. The 19/8, you guys and Sursa, we're gonna get a better picture of that. It'd be great, and tomorrow's crazy. If I can call, if I need to make some phone calls to talk to them as well, when you're in court or whatever. Because I'd like to have a better idea of that number, because that could hopefully help us down there if that is lowered.
And then while you're doing that, you can get with Pinnacle about
Right.
the workman's comp.
Right. So that's on mine to do. I can do that tomorrow.
Okay, and I'll give you the information that I have.
Right. And what is the question for Pinnacle though?
Are these?
Numbers.
Yeah, is this correct? Because while I've got these spread out as a percentage, the total is
Okay.
based on actuals. So,
And that could be based, that workman's comp for the marshal's department could be based on all the the 6 people that at one time we
So
had.
that's
And so we don't have that yet. So that could possibly not be a good, so.
Anything else?
This is good work.
Well,
We're 5,000.
we are. Once again, I don't want this to be my budget. Y'all, tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see.
I can't blame you for that.
Do
Having to do this full time would have me slap happier than I already am.
That's just, we take the difference between the road materials and the contingency at this point, until we have the capital improvements program sliced out and actually project what we're looking at similar road materials versus guessing. We certainly need to put money in, but what's the right number? Is it too little or too much? Is it too little back?
So-
There's just a number we can't use.
So let's make some, so we have 57, 27. There it is. So there is a balanced budget, and it's not a, and I don't think it's a wholly bad budget. It will, but we all know that we've got some decisions with a town manager, if that's the way we want to go, with an election, if that's the way we want to go, with Marshal's department, if that's the way we want to go. There's lots of things that we've got to figure out. And we can pass this, and on January 2nd, we can pass a second one, another one, we can amend the budgets, that's not the problem. I want to make sure that we're not just funneling ourselves down and saying that just because this is what we say on December 1st tomorrow, that's what we're stuck with for all of 16. I will have these printed out as part of the packet. We do have a budget workshop. I will email this out to everybody tonight. I will bring in the depreciation thing, the list that I've started. It's very rough. And maybe we talk about that part of it tomorrow during the budget workshop. The budget workshop's at 6. Anything else?
And I'll have numbers hopefully from Sursa and Pinnacle that we can plug in. So good.
This right now. Oops.
Can't say Yankees changes.
Exactly.
All right, Mike, thanks a lot for
Thank you.
doing that. You can kill it though. And good night.
They heard that one piece of it. Didn't hear it all.
Yeah.